came across this article that I wanted to share with you guys. It's called 7 Types of Bait Narcissists Use to Manipulate and Control, and What You Can Do About it. Narcissists seek to control, manipulate, and ultimately aim to get their own needs met in a variety of ways and by using different techniques. I liken this to watching a lone fisherman at work and call these techniques bait. In working with clients who may be experiencing narcissistic abuse, I often ask them to try to visualize the narcissist sitting on the side of a bank fishing. As he or she tries to catch their target, they will try out various different types of bait in order to find and use the most effective. They may have a few personal favorite forms of bait they like to use more regularly, and they usually have an instinctive sense for which ones to utilize for different catch. The ultimate aim, though, being to get others to bite the bait so that they can reel them closer to manipulate and control for their own selfish means and gains. In learning how to manage this and in moving on from narcissistic abuse, it can be really helpful in the first instance to learn to recognize any bait simply for what it is, an attempt to grab your attention and to pull you in. The second step is, as you learn to recognize the various bait, then work to resist the urge to bite. Awareness of what a narcissist is doing, together with self-awareness of how this leaves you feeling, can really help with this. Fundamentally, we can group the various types of narcissistic bait under 2 main categories: fear and anxiety, and guilt and responsibility. Regardless of what the specific bait and however blatant or subtle, it will be used with the aim of trying to trigger one or more of the above feelings within you. That is, because when we are anxious, scared, feeling guilt, or overly responsible, we are much easier to manipulate. Recognizing the bait for what it is can help take the power out of its effect. Some typical examples of bait include fear-provoking and scaremongering. These include any attempts to elicit fear and anxiety in you or others. A narcissist will seem to inherently attune to your specific fears, insecurities, and anxieties. Intrigue. Classic narcissistic fishing technique of trying to pull others in. Usually a snippet of info or vague, intrigue-inducing comment is offered in order to trigger the other person's anxiety or intrigue. They may or may not elaborate further, thus aiming to provoke more anxiety or intrigue. With this, they have caught you and your attention. False accusations. This type of bait is one that can often trip people up and keep them locked into an unhealthy dynamic. Like any kind of bait, with false accusations, the narcissist is looking for a reaction. They may or may not even believe the accusation they may make about you, but with this bait, they are seeking to rely on our instinctive tendency to automatically defend ourselves, to deny, justify, or correct any wrong views others may have about us. A narcissist will believe what they want to regardless, so you might as well just leave them to it. Guilt tripping. Feelings of guilt can go hand in hand with then feeling overly responsible. Guilt and fear are 2 things that can cause a collapse in our boundaries, which is what the narcissist is ultimately and usually trying to achieve when they're attempting to guilt trip. Victim. Another form of manipulative bait is to portray themselves as the poor me victim. With this bait, they are seeking to elicit your sympathy, empathy, and understanding and avoid taking responsibility for themselves. They aim to reel others into a caretaking, fixing, or rescuing position. False hope. This is the dangling of a carrot on a string specifically about what they know is important to you or what you want in life. The fantasy idea is presented that they will provide you with this, but it is just as bait to make you stay or to control in any other way. How to manage the bait. First of all, it's important to learn to recognize the bait. What are the different types of bait you recognize with the narcissist in mind? Be as specific as possible. Are there certain types that particularly affect you or make holding boundaries difficult? How do these kinds of bait make you feel? Then what do you do? A powerful shift can occur when you start to recognize the bait for what it is, an attempt to reel you in, catch, and manipulate. You may even be able to begin to predict the next bait tactic. Don't take whatever the narcissist does or says personally. Try to leave them to it. Recognize bait as bait, and then more importantly, notice how that leaves you feeling. Notice the immediate urge within you as to how you may want or feel the need to react. Remember, for any narcissist, any kind of reaction they can elicit in others is a twisted way in which they try to feel better about themselves. Whilst you or anybody else is reacting strongly to them, you're reinforcing the message that they have power and control. You can learn to manage your own responses by becoming more mindfully aware of them. You do not need to show the narcissist your reaction. You can also learn to stop biting the bait when you focus more on recognizing your own feelings and then attending to that and your own needs appropriately. All the time a narcissist continues to get a reaction from you, they will continue to do so. The moment you can consistently manage yourself and therefore take that away from them is the moment you alter the dynamic. You regain control.